Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show. Part 6, Eve Pulling for Farming. This first session with Eve in today's pull program is just a tack fitting day. We have the harness on, we have the harrow connected to the tug straps with a chain extension and a couple single trees. We don't have enough staff today to actually move, but Eve has moved this harrow before. We're not going to put the drive lines on today. We're not even going to move with just the lead line. It's too scary to do this without extra people around, and plus it's a sunny day for the first time in 3 or 4 days and the flies are around. So this is our plan for next time. Hook up just like this with the metal single tree on the heavy harrow and see if we can get Eve to pull forward with just a lead line and then with drive lines. But we'll need at least 2 other people on the team. Can you release now? We're releasing the single tree with the quick release. There we go. All right, and then we come back up, put it up to the ring on the collar. There is so much to determine about tack, length, direction, so forth. Right now, I still have the tug straps going through this carabiner, but that means the line of draft to this heavy pull is not a straight line. Nevertheless, we added the chain so that if we do want to take it out of the carabiner, we have a few more feet behind her back hooves, because when we were doing this with the PVC and the ABS single trees and pull, the single tree bounced and hit her on the back feet, which could be interpreted as a predator, at least at first. So by Eve, Firecrest Easter Eve. So we're doing this very, very slowly with a great deal of effort directed towards safety, and safety in this kind of training requires more than 3 people at this point. So we're going to wait until we have at least 4, maybe 5 people try this very same thing, with or without the carabiner, depending upon how Eve behaves, with or without the drive lines, depending on how Eve behaves. And then, Kyle, I think you can go over to the camera now. I want to show what the plan is. We're going to go back to not only straight pull, although for the harrow work we have lined up for Eve, pulling the harrow over our homemade compost in our test site, we want Eve to be able to pull around objects. So for now we have cones that we have her pull around. And we want to try to get her to pull close to the cones, but not knock the cones over. And while that might appear to the viewer to be an easy task with a horse that knows how to do it, I can guarantee you, having done this for the last 6 months or so, it's not an easy task. And it's going to take a long time. And I've chosen the best horse for it, I'm sure, of my 3 Morgans. I've chosen the best horse for it, Firecrest Easter Eve, but I'm still taking tiny baby steps and showing you every step of the way. And that's all for today. Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl and the Farmer, here in Santa Cruz County, www.urbancowgirlchannel.com. Our next session with Firecrest Easter Eve in our uncovered arena. The purpose of the session is to hook up the harrow again and maybe take a few steps forward. We only have 3 team members again today, so we're not going to do anything really challenging, only tiny baby steps. But yesterday, when we were working in our pasture in pairs driving training with Sadie, Eve, it wasn't real light at certain moments on forward motion and G and Ha. She got stressed, and then she started moving forward when she wasn't supposed to. She didn't stay next to Sadie when she had been. Her mind got right-brained. So here in this uncovered arena with a smaller space, and a sanded ground, we're going to practice a little bit. So we've set up 3 cones. This is just basic driveline training that we're going to do today for a few minutes with Eve. And Angela is at the head, holding on to the lead line. But if Eve is being light and being responsive to my requests, she will remove the lead line and just join up for a while. That is, stay near her head, but not connected to her head. And if anything happens that we're worried about, well, then Kyle, my cameraman, will come into the arena. Well, here we go. We're going to do a lot of seesawing. If I need to shorten my reins, I'm going to hold with one hand, slide down, never let go of a rein, never want to lose control. I've got my arm extension. We're going to see if we can go G and ha around these 3 cones. Step up, Eve. Step up. And I'm not putting any pressure on her mouth if she's giving me the right answer. Loose drive lines. Step up, G. G, a little tug. G, G. Good. Ha. Step up, ha. Little tug with my left drive line. Good. G, G. G means right, ha means left. Loose drive line, unless we need the pressure. If I try, I'm just going to go straight now. If I try to keep pressure on her mouth, she'll just pull with her head. She'll just pull against the pressure. Steady. Ho! Ho! Good. Good. I didn't even have to pull back on the lines because she understood my request. Now I'm going to ask her to back. 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 Good. A little bit of give and take. Back. Back. All right, now we're going to do it again, only you're just going to join up. That's a Monty Roberts term. Means mentally we're going to have a helper there to give Eve confidence and to give us confidence in case there's confusion. Step up, Eve. Step up. I'm going to go close to the cone. G. Good. Loose rein. G. G. Good. Good. G. Very nice. Ha. Ha. Ah, misunderstanding. Step up. Ha. Ha. G. When I say G, I just tug ever so slightly. I'm going to do that again, going the other direction. G. Easy, easy. Little give and take. Ha! Little give and take to get her to slow down, because one of the problems, G, in pairs driving is that she walks much faster than her daughter Sadie. Little give and take. G. G. Okay, fade away. G. Ha! G. A little more G, a little more right rein, drive line, G. I'm getting resistance. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, I'm not getting it. I'm glad this happened. So I'm giving her another request. I'm asking her to ha. If you're not getting the whoa, ask for a serpentine. Ask for a G, ask for a ha. Steady. Whoa. Yeah, she was in the resistance mode for a few seconds. And that's what happened yesterday in the pasture when we were pairs training. And so I think we're going to be able to handle that in the future. Angela's going to be driving. And I was explaining to her that if you continue to just ask in the same way that you were asking when you weren't getting the right answer, you won't get the right answer. So you have to ask in a different way. I'm going to try it one more time. You can back off. Step up. Step up. Ha. 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 Little tug. Just a reminder. G. Good. Good. Ha. Ha. I want it a little closer. Ha. Good. So I'm tugging again, a little closer. Ha. Making her go all the way around. Slid my hand down the right rein by holding on to it with my left hand. Steady. Ho. Got the hoe. Okay, but you saw the one incident that happened here, that happened twice yesterday, and I knew that we needed to, with repetition, practice these principles. It was convenient to do it here in the arena. Next time we'll practice these principles in the big green pasture and make sure that Eve understands our cues. We're short again, a staff member, so my cameraman's just going to help me keep that harrow safely behind Eve. If things are going well, he'll put it down for just a few seconds. I've got the drive lines on, I've got my arm extension on, we've got Angela at the head. I'm going to ask Eve, and you let her kind of pull you so that so that she feels the weight. But we won't, probably won't pull it down, put it down when she's moving. Not today. Baby steps. I'm just going to ask her to go forward a couple steps. I, as the driveline holder, have to stay out of the way of the harrow. That's a safety feature. Making sure that I've got my drive lines securely in my hands. I'm going to ask her to step up, Eve. Step up. Good. Pull back. Good. Good. Step up. Steady. Whoa. We got the whoa. Okay, put it down. I'm going to ask her to step up. I just want to go with Kyle back in the arena here. Go forward another couple steps. He'll pick it up if she gets spooked. It's a warm day. If the flies start bothering her, that's another concern. Staying out of the way of the harrow. Asking for another step up, and you're just going to pick it up, and you know where the quick releases are if we need to, right? Okay. All right. Step up, Eve. Step up. Step up. Whoa. Okay. Okay. You can disconnect the quick releases. She definitely was pulling the weight of that harrow. She was definitely hearing the harrow on the sanded ground.
Good girl, Eve. Did very good. Very nice job.
She definitely gave me a whoa.
Oh.
But you know, if you don't have a good whoa, you shouldn't go. So we're going to continue to practice the whoa with Eve without having a pull on. In various locations, under various weather conditions. She's a farming horse. She's got to do farming for us when we ask for it. That's her job. We just want to make sure she knows it, and we want to make sure she knows the cues. She's standing nice. Look at her back leg. I look for that kind of thing. Relaxation right here. Her back left. Her neck is down. But you know, Eve gets scared by some things that some horses get scared by. A cat, a bunny. Could happen anytime. She just has to know that I'm going to protect her and that she has to give me the right answer. And that's all for today. Sonia Soklow, the Urban Cowgirl. Here's our next session with Firecrest Easter Eve in the arena. Yesterday we had her out in the big pasture doing pairs driving training with her daughter, Sadie. But she did get that stiff neck and the hard mouth, and she did require somebody at the lead line. So we put a lead line on her and continued to drive her. But that's a bad habit. I want to break that habit, and the best way to do that is in the enclosure of an arena. So our ultimate objective today is to have her pull this harrow in a straight path again. She's done it in the past, but maybe a little farther today. But we also want to do some exercises that will help her to understand when it is we're going to ask her to hoe, and help us to understand what we need to look for in her body language to convince us that We've got her attention, we've got her softness and lightness. Angela, could you explain? I wasn't there yesterday when Eve first started doing the bad habit of not hoeing. Angela, explain what happened.
Well, we were trying to get Sadie and Eve to walk in pairs, and Eve would start walking a little bit too fast, so I'd try and slow her down or tell her to hoe. And a couple times when I told her to hoe, she'd just keep walking, and I'd turn her around and eventually get her to stop. But Katie wanted to see if she could get Eve to do it properly, so Katie tried it, and eventually, she had the same problem, but eventually she got her to stop by going in tight circles.
Okay, and tight circles requires a flexion.
Yeah.
You can't be straight ironing board motorcycle kind of object. You have to give with your neck, your shoulders, you have to give softness. So that we don't want to always have to do tight circles, but it might be an exercise that helps us here. Let me go to the drive lines. Let me explain what I think we're going to have to do in the near future with repetition to get Eve to understand that we want flexion and we want softness, not necessarily vertical flexion, but lateral flexion, and we want no rigidity in her neck and in her shoulders, which are the precursors to not listening because she's not giving us suppleness and lightness. Angela has a lead line in case we need it. Maybe give me the white stick. I'm going to ask Eve but I want all my tools, so I'm going to have some kind of an arm extension here. I want to see if she's going to do it, and if she is, I'm going to slide my hand down and try to get that flexion. You know, when you're in a saddle, you sit deep on your pockets, you bring your legs forward, you ask for hoe before you use your reins. Your reins are your last resort, but well, what are you going to do when your reins are your only resort? What I'm going to do now, though, is every time I do get a whoa from her, I'm going to ask her to step back a couple steps so that she puts her weight on her haunches, which is another good exercise, another good sign of, yes, I'm willing. The impact is not going to be on my front end. I'm going to absorb it with my back end. Step up, Eve. Step up. Let's see if it happens. I'm turning her a little bit, just slightly, so I see the outside of her blinders on the side that I'm turning. Not even turning, just flexing. A little tug. Now, before I ask her to hoe, I'm going to give her a pre-cue with my drive lines. I'm going to go tug, tug, right, left, and ask for hoe. Tug, tug, whoa. It's going to be her sign, just like when you're in the saddle, sitting deep in the saddle. Now, she expects me to go to the right because she's a pattern type of animal, but I'm going to ask right now for left. And so I'm going to put my arm extension here on her right hip and hope that she will understand with my drive line cues. Step up. A little bit of tug on the left. Good. Tug, tug. Ha, ha. Ha means left. G means right. I'm going to go tug, tug. Whoa. Not exactly immediate, but within a couple seconds I got it. Within 1 second, actually. But I did feel that she was hard. She was a little bit hard on her mouth. Whoa. Pulled with my right rein. She was going forward. I think she misunderstood. I'm going to really challenge her. I'm going to go a turn to the right. Step up, G. G. Good. That was good on her haunches. Lightness. Slacken the reins whenever I can so that when I do ask for it, tug, tug, whoa, she notices it. If I gave her constant pressure, she wouldn't notice the tug, tug. She'd be pulling against the constant pressure. Try one more time. She hasn't done it to me yet. Did she do it to you before I came out? No.
Nope.
All right. It's an ongoing process, though, dealing with these bad habits, dealing with clear communication, dealing with watching the body language to tell us what's happening in her mind, in her body. Step up. Good. Loose rein. She's going where I want her to go. Gee. A little tug. She's walking a little too fast. So I pull back on both reins for just a tiny bit of a second. Okay, back, whoa. Okay, well, we've got it. But I can feel a little bit of hardness, a little bit of stiffness in her mouth, which is coming from her neck. It's all right. And so, and her shoulders getting stiff. So we're going to be, oh, and see how she's pulling away. That is a telltale sign I was holding a little bit too hard with these reins. Whoa. I'm going to move out again because of that. Make sure I give her a loose rein. Step up. Gee. Gee. Just ever so slight a tug. Steady. Ho. That was good. I allow the reins to slip out. I didn't have to go down like, whoa, now she's pulling away. I didn't have to go down like this because I would have if she had refused to stop. But that's what I would do. I would get flexion by sliding my hand down the drive line, getting closer to her body, not within strike zone, and asking for flexion with a little bit firmer request. Because she just pulled out again, I don't want her to think that when she does this, she's going to have pressure on her mouth. Step up. Ha. 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 Good. Loose rein. Tug, tug. Whoa. Good. And I'm immediately giving her her head so she doesn't gape on us. All right, we're going to stop the camera now. We're going to hook up the harrow, and we hope to get a few minutes, a few steps forward today without concern, because it's getting awfully close to the rainy season, and we sure would like to get that compost in the hay test site spread. It's there in small piles, and we sure want to spread it with that harrow pulled by this horse. But if it gets too close to rainy season, we can't rush this kind of thing. We'll do it with a small tractor with the same harrow, but we'll aim to doing it with Eve next year. We're all hooked up here. We've got the extra chain so that the single tree, it's a metal single tree, we feel is far enough away from her legs. It worked last time. I'm going to do drive line with the help of my arm extension. Kyle is going to be here just in case we want to lift this up and release the quick releases, right? And can we do a half a dozen steps? Will she allow the noise? Will she feel the pull? Can I stay out of the way of the harrow with these lines? We're going to keep Angela at the head for this session. We'll be working towards doing it just with drive lines, but for safety's sake, we're doing it with lead line control as well. Are you ready? Everybody ready? Team is ready. Step up. You're the most important. Ready? Go. Okay, release. I mean, that was an A+. I'm going to call that our moment of resolution.
Good girl, Evie.
All right, she's still connected on one side. I hope nothing spooks her. Okay. Let's take the drive lines off and you just lead her out.
Okay.
Can you take the drive line off on that side and take the drive line off on this side? Okay.
Easy. Thank you.
I'll pull them away as soon as they're clear. Good. Yeah, better not let me hit her on her legs. Gosh, I am so pleased with that. She didn't get stiff. She didn't speed up. She absolutely walked forward a good half a dozen of steps. And the next place I want to do this is not in the arena, but on the grass, not in the test site where we have the compost, but nearby it. I think it'll be just as easy to pull it on the grass as it was here. And if not, you'll know, because we're going to show you what our very next step is, our next tiny baby step to getting Eve to pull for farming. And that's all for today. Sonia Sokolow, Urban Cowgirl. You can go and stop the camera. We have to double up here on team members because we very seldom have 4 or 5 people here. Sometimes we have 2 or 3. And we try to make do because the most important aspect is safety. We even have my mother sitting here just in case Kyle had to come in and yet the camera wasn't on the scene. She knows how to turn the camera to keep it on the scene. See more at www.urbancowgirlchannel.com.